Recording.
All right, we're back, and this is an exciting day for the channel. And you may not know about this, you might have seen some subtle hints, but this is the first ride on my third, for me, to have stroker big bore DRZs, and it's in the S model that I've had that had the windscreen on it. This is literally the first ride. I'm not very far from where I live, and I started it up yesterday 2 times just to confirm we don't have any oil leaks or coolant leaks. And my goal here is to do my typical 30-minute break-in ride. You know, this is a little bit of a stressful time. I'm kind of lugging the engine a little bit right now. So because I'm in 5th gear, 4th gear. Oh, there, mister. Yeah. And just making sure it goes through the gears right. You know, I've got all new bearings on this. It's a complete, obviously, jug replacement. And I'm running a gear ratio that's, you know, a little long-winded. It's a little long-winded of a gear ratio. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I'm making sure that I'm trying to keep my RPMs varied here. Yeah, we go through all the gears quite easily. It's smooth. Pretty easy to get going with and this is a 15-41 gear ratio. So it's a stock SM gearing. And I'm trying not to get too far from home. I'm trying to make some observations. This is the old stroker big bore, so it's a hot rods stroker crank. Cylinder works 434 cylinder and a Carrillo or CP piston. Seem to like those a little better. They do, however, they do use the Wiseco rings on them for the 434. And I'm mirroring as a starting point the jetting that I ended up with on my SM with the 434, because it's got a Keehan FCR 39MX. It's a little bit different jetting on the slant, or at least it's been my experience. Yeah, we're 2 miles in. Wow, this is great. I'm gonna stop and make some observations here in a minute. Again, I'm not really rolling too heavily into the throttle. Letting off the throttle. And what I'm going to do after this 30-minute ride, I'll let it. Hey, guy. We're going to cut that out.
You were on a bike, so I just wanted to let you know, be careful going down the roads. I guess people are starting to throw like bags of sand or asphalt out.
Really?
Yeah, so I just chucked them off on the side of the road. But
all right.
back out there.
Thanks for the heads up, my friend. Yeah.
I guess they're getting pissed off or whatever because everybody's going up and down the roads.
Just throwing them in the roadway.
There were 2 of them sitting in the road up there.
Man, I hope we can.
My guess, though, is
I hope we can catch whoever's doing that.
It was right in front of somebody's house, but next time I just chuck them off to the side. But if I see them in the morning or whatever on my way to work, I'll.
Thanks a lot, boss. I appreciate you.
On the bike,
Yeah, that's really kind of you. Appreciate you. Thanks for looking out for me. You do, man. All right, we're gonna keep that going. We're gonna cut that out. Just listening for any irregularities here. All right, the gentleman was telling me about some not so nice person took it upon themselves to throw concrete bags. There's some nasty stuff out there for people to hit. I hope that comes back around on them. Really appreciate people looking out for motorcyclists. You know, some kind people that really have good intentions and they're wanting to do the right thing. A little dog. Hope you get home, little dog. Let's talk about this engine. And I'm just making observations here. So this is a stressful time. We're running the full Barker's exhaust on this, and obviously the FCR 39MX. I got the stage 2 hot cams in here. And, you know, that we're leaving some meat on the bone on what is potential on this. I understand. We're not chasing horsepower numbers. Alright, so here I am in 5th gear, real quick, at this 15:41 ratio. I'm going 47 miles an hour and I'm in 5th, and I'm really low RPMs. If I tried to accelerate, it would be kind of dogging it a little bit. Glad I refreshed that air filter on this thing. It's a dusty road. Not trying to overload this engine. Beautiful October day. Sometimes, or many times of the year, or of years around this time, you wouldn't be able to get away with, towards the evening, having short sleeves on. But I do. And it's comfortable. It's like 75 degrees or so. So that's kind of nice. And we're just about to roll over our, I'm going to go down into 4th gear on our engine build. Okay, I'm trying to go through things. I had to replace the stator cover on this one because it had JB Weld plugging a hole on it. What was really cool about this is the clutch side case cover had the old school thumper talk cover on it, which is really cool. So I left that, but I got, you know, eBay black cover for this one, and I stuck it on yesterday afternoon. So and I used some RTV clear. I like using the clear RTV. Look at all that cotton out there. Woo. Just paying attention. So we're going to stop here real quick. I'm going to leave it running. We're just going to take a look. I'm not going to stop it. Obviously, I got to do a little bit of an adjustment on the clutch. Okay, we're not dumping buckets or anything. It's looking pretty good. I don't see a lot of oil. I might need to tighten up the exhaust a little bit since it's been heat cycled. feel pretty confident in it. I will be getting a thermometer, a thermostat or thermometer coolant cap on there so I can keep an eye on it. I can, even without getting on it, you can tell that there's more ass about it. It's got more ass. It's more bottom end grunt. Now, where did I get this engine? This isn't the engine that was in there. I was going to do a video series on this build, but my camera, which is my phone, decided that its program, or that it runs its videos on, that the stock one, it decided it would start to like shake and make a kind of a horrific noise, which is rather annoying if you don't mind me saying so, when I was taking video. So a lot of it, since I didn't review it, kind of is just garbage. And once I found out there was several parts through the series, when I started kind of loosely editing it together, as I tend to do. So I haven't fully abandoned it. I might do like a slideshow or something on that, but this is kind of the reveal of it right here. So this is going to be released way before any of that business, and that's just how it works. You know, I've done other builds on here of the same engine, so there's not a whole lot to share about that. And the idea of this bike, you know, I've got a big Clark, you know, and the other video I'm releasing with this on my 11,000 mile review of the stroker big bore on the SM, it is going to kind of, it discusses this, so you get some redundancy in there. So maybe there's something in that that I missed that you'll see, but you just got to bear with me on it. I'm doing this for fun and to share it for the people that truly care about this channel and just what I do. Very important here. I'm downshifting and just letting that engine deceleration happen. Oh yeah, this feels like the SM model. Okay, we're about 11-12 minutes or so on this ride, because like I said, I started riding a little bit just so I can get away from where I live. So I don't want people stalking me or anything like that. People on the interwebs are weird. I hate to say that, but that's just how it is. But what I'm going to do, I got a big Clark 3.9 gallon tank on this. I've got some soft bags I'm going to put on this, and so this is going to be my light adventure bike. That's why I'm doing this gearing, okay? And the other aspect of it is going to be, you know, that's why I have the 1541 gears on this, and the other aspect of it is to be able to quick change into the SM wheels on this. It's what I chose to do, and I understand that chain and sprockets should be kept alone for that purpose, but with all honesty, I'm not going to put enough miles on it. And this is not a big high horsepower bike like a GSX-R 1000 or 750 or 600 or any of the counterpart brands, or Ducati's or anything like that. So the goal on this is, you know, it's not do as I say, not as I do, or do as whatever, do. do not do what I'm saying I'm going to do, or do what you want to do. And that's kind of what I'm doing. And the aspect of that is to, when I'm going to go and do a trip, I want to put that tank on there, but I'm not necessarily wanting to leave that tank on all the time. So if I got a trip coming up, I can throw it on there. The configuration I want to leave this in is with the dirt wheel setup or the big wheel setup. So I'm varying my speed here, but to be able to quickly put my Sumos on and do lot stuff with this, or put my other wheels on there and be if I got a buddy that wants to do some sumo track day stuff, well, hey, guess what? They can go and do that. Something that I'm going to wrestle with on this is, it's going to be a little strange. I'm going to put a big rotor on this, okay? It's going to be a 320 rotor on this dirt setup. And again, that's the idea, is to quickly change the Sumo wheels over to my gold wheels that were initially intended for the E model, and it may still be for the E model, can go straight onto this configuration, or the wheels that I intended for this bike are the KKE wheels, and they have a cush drive on them. So we're going to try that out. It was kind of a deal, and you know how I've done some things with the knockoff FCR carb. That's an opportunity for that. It was a budget buy, okay? So what else am I going to do? Well, that kind of made me think about things. I want to be able to put those wheels on any of my bikes, those supermoto wheels. Well, that kind of makes things complicated with the rear rotor, because they're a little different diameter, slightly smaller, if memory serves. Okay, so they're slightly smaller on the E and the S model. So I might have to change over that if I want to use it. So that's a small pain, but that means that I would have to put a 320 rotor on my SM, and with a bracket on that. That's something that's like a luxury item. I don't necessarily have to do that, but that's something that I could do. So we might do that. We might not. I don't really have to do that, but it'd be cool if I could. And quite literally, since I have two other bikes that have the S configuration rear master on them, I could feasibly, I had to look into what all goes into this. I could feasibly go with the conversion to like an E or an S. I think it's all in the bracket, or I could just convert it. I don't know. We'll look into that. I don't have to do that, but it'd be a nice something to share on the channel for people that might be interested in that. Let's talk about break-in here. Yeah, I might have a slight exhaust leak. I might just have to tighten her up a little bit. No big deal. We're going to go through all of this. No big deal. Yeah, this is a very familiar feeling. So I'm just letting off, giving it gas. I'm changing gears and going different speeds here. And some people would fall into the camp of that hard break-in versus a soft break-in. And then, you know, this is a 4-stroke. There's a 2-stroke break-in, you know, where you heat cycle it so many times and you test your, you know, you retorque your head bolts, your head nuts, excuse me, and then you go and do a certain ride, and then you're ready to go. Well, and then there's the hard break-in theory on these 4-strokes, and just go and ride it how you're going to ride it. Well, this is something that I want to refer to an Ari Henning video when he was with, I think he was at the very tail end of his tenure with Motorcyclist magazine, and this was a rushed video. And those of you that know Ari Henning, he's made something of a name for himself with his CBR 250 and 300 builds, and he had a certain, he provided a head for Jake the Garden Snake's XR301. Okay, and that build, and I think he might have got him the cams, I don't know, but he did a certain amount of work with getting that part done for him. But he had some of those engines that he broke a traditional lighter break-in, kind of like what I'm doing here. I want to say that he did approximately 1,000 miles. This is going back 3 or 4 years, so you just got to bear with me on that theory, okay? And he measured the ring end gap, which is one of the ultimate things that you're doing, but you know, on this engine, on any other new engine, you're talking about components that have never been together before. New bearings, new crankshaft, rod bearings, cams, we're breaking in cams, we're doing all these different components, and they're mating together for the first time. And some people could just, you know, they go with the hard break-in and go to the, you know, this type of break-in. And what he did is one of the things I think he got to share, because again, it was a rushed video. I think he wanted to go in a little bit more in depth on it, but he ended up with a larger ring end gap. It wasn't a lot, but it was measurable ring end gap. It was a larger ring end gap on the hard break-in bike. And his conclusion, or the conclusion that I got out of it, we'll just say that because it's been, I think I've watched it a couple times over the years and shared it with other people, maybe even watched it with other people. If this is an engine that you're going to maintenance often, and I say maintenance is with a top end, and you don't have time to do a proper break-in, well, the hard break-in might be an option for you. Or if you're going to keep a bike for a substantial amount of time, well, this sort of approach might be a more appropriate approach. Yeah, I'm giving it, you know, up to half throttle. Big old grasshopper just hit my helmet. You might have heard the thud. But we're in the 20-minute range here on this video. So I got about 10 more minutes of riding that I'm going to get in, and I'm going to let it set, and I'm going to drain the oil and change the filter. I'm going to read that you know, the amount of sediment and material, the material that of that breaking in process. I'm going to see what's all on the magnet, what's on the filter. I'm going to look at the oil. Do I have coolant on it? Do I have this? Do I have that? What are there any red flags? Do I see any leaking of coolant or oil? This, that, or the other. All these things are very valuable data points and things I can change. doing this short of an interval. This is the initial break-in ride, so it's very important to look at it this way and analyze. And real quick, let's look at the takeoff. It takes a little bit more effort to get it going. Once you're going, it's no problem. But with it being, let's see, it was a 1444, I think is what this has on it for stock, or at least what they had on it. But here we are, 55 miles an hour, and I'm at relatively low RPM. We'll take it up to 65. Again, I'm not confident. This is still at 65 based upon this speedometer. That's not a bad RPMs that I'm running. I can go 70 to 70. Let's take it up to that. We're going 70. That's not a big deal. And then I'm very progressively letting off the throttle. We're going to go back around this direction on the dirt roads because I want to keep these RPMs down a little bit more, and I just want to take a nice fall ride. This is pleasant. I'm enjoying myself.